Hey, look alive. Welcome back to the session room where we focus on developing the spirit. I'm Coach Mike II. What we're going to talk about tonight is what's wrong with society. What's wrong with these folk? Let's get to work. We see society and we see the way things are turning and people celebrating the downfall of others and even celebrating people when they die, saying, "Oh, I'm glad that they're dead." What's wrong with society these days? It seems like the drama level is at an exceptional rate. It seems like it's not declining at all. It's just steady going up. It's steady. So with society and the way it is, it seems like it's very narcissistic. Look at me, all eyes on me type of situation, right? And have no regard for others, no empathy, no respect, just a lack of moral. It seems like the moral compass is going down, but what is the problem? What is that unhand, or should I say that unseen hand that's pushing this aspect? Well, let's go to our foundation scripture, which is coming from Mark chapter 12, verses 30 through 31. Let's read. And it says, verse 30, "And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment." So just to understand what's going on, some Sadducees and lawyers was arguing about what's the greatest commandment in the Bible. And so they came across Christ and they asked, "Teacher, Master, what is the greatest commandment?" And he mentioned that this is the first greatest commandment, is to love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. But we all know that, right? We all say that we love God. Well, most of us, right? We all recognize God in some type of way, or which God that is, right? But this is not the main problem with society, because loving God is the end result of something that needs to start further back. So let's keep reading. Verse 31. And it says, "And the second is like, namely to this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these." So wait a minute. Out of all this Bible, right? Out of the whole structure of the Bible, Messiah sums it up that you need to love yourself to be able to love your neighbor. It's impossible to be able to love your neighbor if you don't love yourself. You see, the problem with society, saints, the problem is, come closer, is that we don't love ourselves. You see, we too often busy not being comfortable with our insecurities. You have to understand and recognize your insecurities so that when you see your insecurities in others, there's not the same hate, there's not the same turmoil, there's not the same tension or drama that you will have towards that other person, because it starts from internal. You see, love starts with self. And we got to understand that it is possible to love your neighbor, because it says right here in verse 31 to love your neighbor as you love yourself. As you love yourself. The problem with society today, saints, is that we don't love ourselves. We see all this hate, all this drama, all this turmoil, this celebrating of people dying, is because that, in fact, we don't love ourselves. You see, love starts with self first. How can we say we love God if we don't love our neighbor whom we see every day? How can we love our neighbor whom we see every day if we cannot love ourselves whom we are with for eternity? We came in this world with ourselves. Guess what? We're going to leave this world with ourselves. We're not going to leave this world with this body, but we will leave this world with our souls, with our minds, with our spirits. We will leave with that. So you got to first love self. It starts here. It starts right here with you. If you can't understand on how to be patient with yourself, how to be forgiving with yourself. When you make mistakes, see, we all slip up and make mistakes, right? We all have things that we need to work on. We have pieces of the puzzle that we need to put together in our life. But if we're not focused on loving ourselves properly, being patient and piecing that puzzle together, when we see someone else that has this same issue or this same situation that's going on in our life, we're going to lash out at them. Why? Because we've already lashed out at ourselves. We already been demeaning towards ourselves. We already been unkind to ourselves and impatient with ourselves. So it starts with self, saints. If we don't learn how to first love ourselves, then what? Right? If we don't first start with ourselves to be kind, if we don't first start with ourselves to be patient and forgiving, then it's impossible that when someone comes across your way that you can do the same to that other person. We have to start with self. And if we're not starting with self, we need to start with self. Hey, if this video has touched you in any kind of way, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share with your friends and family to go ahead and spread the word out about loving ourselves, because it's all about that internal love and what we have to do for ourselves and loving ourselves and filling our cup up first so that we can pour out onto others and please the Most High God. Hey, I am Coach Mike II. Remember that self-work is the best work. So let's get to work. Until next time, peace.